गुरु प्यारी साध संगत जी दोने हाथ जोड़ के फतेह नाल सांझ पाइए गज वज के आखो जी वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। एक बरी होर गुरु चरणां दे विच ध्यान धरदे होए गुरु महाराज जी वाल मुख करदे होए दोने हाथ जोड़ के फिर सांझ पाओ ते असीसां बख्शो। Give me your blessings. So for the next hour or so, when Gurmat Prachar is happening, nothing of Manmat enters within this lecture. Everything stays perfectly in the boundaries of Gurmat. Kripa karo, दोने हाथ जोड़ो, सारे ने सांझ पानी, फिर असीसां बख्शो फतेह राही, बुलाओ फतेह। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। खालसा जी अज दा जो विशा है, so first of all, जियां आए नू, I welcome everybody that has come to the English Darbar here at the Guru Sahib Gurdwara, Guru Sahib's Darbar. Khalsa ji, today's Visha means topic, and today's topic is Prabh ki Preet, because I know in a few days what's celebrated here amongst the people in this Western Hemisphere is Valentine's Day. For sabto uttam prem kiya. What's the highest form? It's called divine love. Divine love. Prabh ki ustat. And that's what we're going to do. When you do ustat, that ustat is khali if it doesn't have prem behind it. What powers ustat should be prem. Panda pao amrit titatal. Suniye, maniye, man kita pao. Prem has a lot of synonyms. And first, this slide up here shows you the synonyms. And some I'll recite out to you right now is Preet, Prem, Anurag, Pao, Hit, Asneh, Neho, and Ulfat. There's a lot of synonyms, and one that you're all familiar with is Pyar. It's all the same thing. And you've all loved in your lives. Now it's just a matter of collecting that love and centering it on Guru Sache Paatshah. Because that love, thai pੈ janda, meaning it becomes worthwhile. It becomes worthwhile that after you leave this world, you know there's some tan or wealth waiting for you to take care of you. It's going to be that love that you devoted towards Paramatma within this life. So let's start with the definition. Now, these lectures have been performed at Guru Nanak Academy for the past years on every Saturdays. And one benti I make there is that main koshish karda, that if I sit up on stage, if there's going to be any influence on the Sangat, it's not going to be because of me. It's going to be because of Guru Sahib and his saints. I'll try to take whatever has been compiled together today has been taken from Bhai Veer Singh, Gyani Pindrapal Singh, and you'll see the mukhs of those shining Gurmukhs that if you're not familiar with, hopefully over time will share their jivans, their lives, so it'll inspire you as well. One such face is Baba Teja Singh. People in the scholarly world will respect him because he has he's a Harvard graduate. But in the Sikhi realm, we respect him because he was a saint. He did Sangat with Sant Atar Singh Ji Mastuana. And he sent him to go do prachar, establish gurdwaras, and attach people to Guru Maharaj Ji. And he had come here too. He had come here. He established gurdwaras here. He saved the Sikh population from being shipped to an island. This is Baba Teja Singh Mastuane's definition of prem. I'll read it out in Punjabi because that's what we want to enforce. But again, so everybody understands here, that's more fluent in English, will translate. जद प्यारे दे प्यारे विच अपने आप तो हो जांदा है अते प्यारे दी याद विच अपना आप भुला दिंदा है. And when you take prem, when you take that love, that word prem, and you split it up, sandhi shed kar deo, split it up, cut it apart, then two words will come out that the Punjabi language is very familiar with, is pare and main. When all thought has moved away, definition of pare. When all thought has moved away from yourself, because your devotion to your beloved is so strong. Remember, power, prem is power. Prem is powering everything to be received in the realm of truth where God resides. So, your beloved is so strong that any sense of yourself, which you call man, you identify with this body when you call man, when you say I, then that man, that any sense of yourself being a separate entity does not exist anymore. A simple way of looking at this is a boond, a droplet that you are as a soul now is merged within the ocean that is Brahm, which is Par Brahm, Paramatma. That's a simple little definition. Remember, prem, cut it apart, and you have pare, main, home menu pare kar deo. Home menu pare kar deo, aap de aap nu nishavar kar deo. Nishavar means surrender to Paramatma. You're not surrendering. What you're saying is that I know what to do, I can do everything. Jadon aap nirbal honge, when you become powerless at the feet of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, then watch, Maharaj will take you in his arms and take care of all the things that worry you. Then there will be no chinta or worry that exists in your life. Now, I want to start from Prem, but I have to look at all these individuals that are sitting here within the Sangat. And I'll take one familiar thing. Those homes that Das has visited, whether the family has dedicated their whole life to Sikhi or whether they're very infrequent in coming to the Gurdwara, you'll find one similarity within their home. Is that you'll see a photo of Sri Darbar Sahib in their home. And another familiar thing you'll find if you ask them is that when they go to India, they go to visit their relatives, each of them will take the time out at least to go to Sri Harmandir Sahib. Now Khalsa Ji, I think it's a wonderful thing that we have a photo of Sri Harmandir Sahib within our home. Prabh Harmandir Sohna. Maharaj Ji celebrates Sri Harmandir Sahib through Gurbani. It's a wonderful thing that you have it on your walls. But I want to put some internal meaning. I want to go a little deeper. And every time from this day forth, when you look at that photo within your home, I want you not just to see a photo of what the world knows as the Golden Temple, but you'll see a blueprint of what you need to establish on the inside, what you need to establish in your mind. Because why do you need this blueprint? Why do you need this photo up in your home? Because inside we look like this. We look like a stagnant body of water that's only collecting filth. Khalsa Ji, gandagi, filth, has now spoiled these waters. But it doesn't mean that it can't be filtered. It doesn't mean that it can't be cleansed. This is what I want you to remember, is that when you have the environment controlling you, your insides become like this as a metaphor. Your insides become like this. when the environment controls you, when naturally things are happening, you're accepting whatever the environment's giving you, whether it's on the television, whether it's on the internet, or whether people are just speaking their opinions from your family, from your friends. This is what you're collecting in the inside. And not only in this life. You've been collecting this from life after life, but tonu gyat nahi. You have no knowledge. So we'll stick to this life at least for now. We've all come in. If a picture like this, right now, we could take a camera inside of your minds, how many of you would be willing to show the rest of the Sangat? I want you to think about this. If we could go into your mind, would you see a similar picture? Would you see things that you don't want to share with the Sangat? You don't feel comfortable. Khalsa ji, this is what sits inside of you. When you enshrine the love within your heart, Prabhu Prem, divine love, when you enshrine it within your heart, that is Sri Harmandir Sahib. Now you've started taking that picture on the wall, using it as your reference, as your blueprint, and started building that inside. You know how Harmandir Sahib sits within a pool. Now Harmandir Sahib will be inside of your mind. What is Harmandir Sahib for everybody? It's your heart. When the whole Sikh Panth saw the happenings of 1984, they said that the Indian government, hit the heart of the Sikh Panth when they tarnished our sacred shrine. Right? We even say in English that that person has a heart of gold. And if it's a cold person, doesn't have good virtues, you say they have a stone cold heart. A heart of gold. Our heart is Sri Harmandir Sahib. Enshrine the love. That love of Paramatma resonates from Harmandir Sahib as Kirtan. And Harmandir Sahib didn't always have gold upon it. Harmandir Sahib didn't always have gold upon it. Gold came during the time of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And what I want to say to you is, jadon tusi bhakti karonge, it's not right away that you'll obtain virtues. It's Sahaj Maraga. This is a slow process. But be patient. These kind of virtues, contentment, santokh, sat, they'll solidify and then they'll shine. Just like the luster of gold on Sri Harmandir Sahib. Khalsa ji, now the whole world recognizes it. And they pick it as a tourist spot. They come there and take pictures of themselves with Sri Harmandir Sahib in the background. Sache marg chaldeyan ustat kare jahan. Your virtues will be that gold. That comes, the gold just like it is on Sri Harmandir Sahib, your virtues will be that gold. And now there's a pathway that leads to Sri Harmandir Sahib. Let's build meaning for that as well. There's breath that goes inside and then it comes out. Sangat goes towards Sri Harmandir Sahib, that path. They circulate, matha take, and then they leave. There's exchange that happens when they matha take. They say, Sache Pasha, main tera. Amar says, Je tu mera, then I'll take care of you. There's an exchange that happens. Matha take there, and then they circulate. Air comes inside of your lungs, it circulates, and then it comes out. Sangat goes in, walks around in the prakarma of Sri Harmandir Sahib, and then it comes out. And what does that tell us? Saas. Din saran, saas, Paramatma nu chete karo. Raat din, you'll see a lineup at Sri Harmandir Sahib. People coming and going, air is coming and going inside of your lungs. What sits upon your lungs? Here, if you don't understand, I'll show you a little diagram. What sits upon your lungs is your heart. We've always established that as a metaphor, that Harmandir Sahib is our heart. That's what we're going to build inside. And what does our heart contain? It contains the love of Paramatma. When those virtues, after singing God's praises for a long time, virtues swell up and take the form of gold on Sri Harmandir Sahib. And as your air is going in and out of your sarir, in the same way Sangat going around Sri Harmandir Sahib and out, what are they doing? Guru Guru Japdeya. And now you need a head on your body. What's your head? Akal Takht. Khalsa ji, look at this photo. Akal Takht as your head. Harmandir Sahib as your heart. And then your body as that pool of Amrit. Contained within that prakarma. Akal Takht is your head. Because your head now has to work with this world. So Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji gave us Miri Piri da Siddhant. Siddhant means philosophy. Miri Piri the philosophy Guru Har Gobind Sahib gave to us. Why? He says, you want bhakti? Then you have to have Shakti beside yourself, because there's a lot of people corrupt out here. They'll rip your mala away. They'll try to be an obstacle for your bhakti. So, in order to work with this world, your head has to work with the discipline of Miri and Piri. That's your head. Now, Khalsa ji, as we continue our pilgrimage through our head right now of Sri Harmandir Sahib, and we're making a blueprint. Now, remember, the next time you look at that photo up in your home of Sri Harmandir Sahib, I want you to stop and look at it properly. Maharaj Guru Arjan Dev Ji designed it very carefully so you could know that's what Guru Maharaj Ji wants inside of you, that structure, not that swamp. A swamp has frogs. A swamp has flies. And what are those for you? Kam, Krodh. Those are the buri sankalps, the bad thoughts that are within your mind. You have to weed them out, because this is a filtering system. This is a pumping system, and once you filter out that filth of sins, what will you be left with? A pool of Amrit. Amrit Ras Atpala. Amrit Ras, Amrit pool will be surrounding you. It will be surrounding and pumping through your body. Amrit. And from that all you'll hear day and night in unison is your whole body repeating Why Guru without you even moving your tongue. God has a lot of rewards if you want to walk on His path. But I want you to stop and contemplate. Stop and reflect when you look at that photo in your home of Sri Harmandir Sahib. Because the problem is, we hear something here and we go home and it's gone. Why? Because our face is facing towards the world as soon as we get home. No, Khalsa ji, it's about what you take here, you preserve in your home. It's what you take here, you preserve in your home. This is you and Guru Sahib right now. This is this time that you make a relationship so strong that it doesn't extinguish, it doesn't deplete once you get home. Your relationship starts with Simran while you listen to the discourses of Paramatma. I'm going to move forward a little bit here. As we walk through the prakarma around the sacred Amrit Sarovar, let's say you just came out of Darshani Deori and you're going to go clockwise in the prakarma. I want to tell you something. Sikhi Siddiq, Pyar, that has come within Gursikhs and that has powered Gursikhs for their whole lives. Khalsa ji, there's two historical Sikh figures that stand up. Do Mahan Sikh Vyakti, Sikh Premi, Gursikhan de Nazran de agge aa jande a. They come before your eyes. If you want to acknowledge it, you can acknowledge it. If you don't, then keep moving in your ignorance. But the first one is a bear. It's a tree that comes. A tree that has done sangat with a Gursikh, that has done seva for 113 years. Has anyone matched that? No. That's why he's called Sikhi da Had. He's called what? Sikhi's limit, as far as you can go. His name is Baba Buddha Ji. He started out as Buddha. His name was Buddha. Maharji called him Buddha. Then he got Bhai di Padavi. He became Bhai Buddha Ji. And then he became known as Baba Buddha Ji. And now whenever we recognize him, we say that Astpadi that comes in Sukhmani Sahib, Brahm Gyani, well, that's Baba Buddha Ji, the knower of the Creator. Brahm Gyani. Khalsa Ji, I tell you, you stop there. That tree has done sangat with Baba Buddha Ji. And for a moment, stop and ask that tree, you saw Baba Buddha Ji. And now I have an opportunity to meet to you. Some of you might find this silly. Why are you going to talk to a tree? But you say that one time, let me touch you. Because you embraced that Gursikh that stayed by the side of 6 Guru Sahibs, had darshan of the 7th. Khalsa Ji, I ask you to do this out of prem, that you say Baba Buddha Ji, kis tarah Gursikh si? Mainu bhi oh jiha banao. That I want to become like him. Do sangat with that tree for a moment. And think of how Baba Buddha Ji, after doing Kar Seva, when they were building the Sarovar, would come under the shade of that tree for a moment rest and then would go back and start doing Seva. 113 years, you can't match it. And then as you go around, there'll be Dukh Panjani Bear, and then another stop place comes where all Gursikhs stop. Where all Gursikhs stop, and then they'll look. Because there's a Mahan Yoda, a saint soldier of our Panth, that he said, even when nearing 80 years of age, that if Ahmed Shah Durrani is coming, Sees Suda sir het kar, hum devenge, hum jaye. That I won't rest until these Malish, people with bad intentions, have been driven back to their homes, and my head rests at Sri Harmandir Sahib. I'm not going to rest, and I'm going to keep fighting. Paransi. It was a beinti made before Guru Maharaj, starting out from Damdama Sahib. Damdama Sahib, this is none other than Baba Deep Singh. He gives definition to a lot of Gurbani Panktiyan. They'll come. Jao to prem khelen ka chao, sir tar tali gali moriao, itmarik pair terije, sir dije ka na kije. He gives meaning to these Pankti. He showed us. He became the definition of Gurbani. Khalsa Ji, if you want to play the game of love, that doesn't mean grab a Valentine's card and give it to an opposite gender. No. If you want to play the game of love, ek kathan cheez hai. If you want to play, you surrender your mind, your body over to Guru Maharaj and say, Tan, Man, Tera, Sache Pacha, Sab Tera. It's nothing is mine. Mera mujh mein kich nahi. That none of it, this is mine. It's all yours, Sache Pacha. Baba Deep Singh would go on the battlefield. He started up from Damdama Sahib, getting notified that Ahmed Shah Durrani's army is coming. It was just a couple of weeks now that we were celebrating Baba Deep Singh's Janam Dihada. And Khalsa Ji, he came. Started out with a couple of soldiers. Next thing, now this army's packed and huge numbers have arrived at Gurdwara Taran Taran Sahib. And now he's going on the battlefield after doing Ardas, nearing 80 years of age, taking down so many lives of the enemy. Then at one point, through a clash that happened at such intensity and such speed, that the clash led to both parties, Baba Deep Singh and the youngster that was against him, both throwing their swing of their sword at each other's gardan, at each other's necks, and both heads coming off. But for one, the play ended. The worldly play has ended, their life has ended. But for the other, a Gursikh would come and stand. Baba Deep Singh, you did an ardas. Your head would lie at Sri Harmandir Sahib. Rise! Rise! And at that time, this one Mahan Gursikh, Pehla Marn Kabul, who had accepted death his whole life, Jeevan ki shad aas, stands up, having not already let go of the khanda still within one of his hands. He takes his head in the palm of his other hand. Blood is seeping through his fingers. Blood is coming down, marking the path that he's walking towards Sri Harmandir Sahib. Khalsa Ji, one of the children, when I told this story of Baba Deep Singh, they came up to me and they said that there is a website for a channel called Spike. I'm not familiar with this channel. The child told me, said that this is a very male-oriented and testosterone-driven website, meaning that there's a lot of lust on this website, and then there's a lot of men fighting. It's a channel, a website devoted to a channel. This Spike channel, though it's devoted to men fighting through wrestling and so forth, it did its research. A person, a reporter for the website, did research and collected the 10 most amazing warriors of all time. 10 most amazing warriors of all time. They showed pictures. When you got to the top 5, you had this individuals from the World War and before, during the French Revolution. And then you would have a samurai soldier, Sato, Benke. And then, as number 1, who's listed on that website? I doubt that many Sikhs go on that website. And I don't even encourage you to go on that website. But I tell you, on that website, the countless people that go became familiar with the number 1 spot being Baba Deep Singh. And in the commentary underneath Baba Deep Singh, this is what the individual writes. He says, and that's how you get number 1, kids. Deciding instant death can just wait a minute because you're not finished on the battlefield. They're inspired. Why aren't you inspired? When I want to talk with these Bhagats, with these saint soldiers, you talk through Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And I wanted to ask one question that came in my head. Did Baba Deep Singh ever lay tears? Did tears ever come down his eyes? Is he afraid of anything? Is he afraid of anything? Now if you ask a warrior like Baba Deep Singh, through Guru Granth Sahib Ji, what are you afraid of? Would you say nothing? Some people in the Sangat might say that, no, he met death face to face. What is he afraid of? Khalsa Ji, listen. Because most of these questions from this point forward are being asked to Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Maharaj Ji says, Asa, Kampeo, Jo Tan Peo Chin Chin. Translation, what would it matter if my body were to be cut into pieces? The voice of Bhagat Ravadas Ji having a revelation from God. And the next is what answers the question. Prem jaye to dar pe tero jan. The answer, Lord, if I were to lose your love, if I were to lose your affection, then that is what frightens your humble servant. The one thing that a Gursik, a humble servant, a saint's soldier would be frightened of is losing Paramatma's nadar, losing Paramatma's prem, losing Paramatma's affection. Khalsa ji, moving forward, let's ask a couple of more questions to Guru Maharaj ji. Where the world will be celebrating and with their own manners, whether they're buying chocolates. I know commercially, with the advertising, people are going to make a lot of money, those that are selling chocolates and selling cards. But Khalsa ji, if we were to ask Guru Angad Dev Ji, Guru Angad Dev Ji, seva done as Bhai Lana ji, it brings tears to your eyes. That's why I say to you, look at your history pages. Khalsa ji, I know we're not very fond of reading. Or if we are, we want one sentence lines, whether they come on Facebook or Twitter. But the moment it stretches past a couple of pages, you say that what's the point? I have to do this kind of stuff in school. But Khalsa ji, those history pages are love. Sun sakhi man jap pyar. Sakhi suno, and then oda fayda uthao, Guru Maharaj ji nu chete karke japo. Khalsa ji, if you look through the history pages, who became Angad, a limb of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Angad Dev Ji, who changed from Bhai Lana ji to Guru Angad Dev Ji, Maharaj ji says, Ek ne hi aas ki, duje lage jaye. He tells the world, whether it's Valentine's Day or whether people are manaying any sort of love that they have for companions, sambandhis, or family or friends. What kind of love is this? What kind of love is this? Ek nahi aas ki. What kind of ashik is this? What kind of love is this? Duje lage jaye. When it's also being placed in another, when it's uselessly being placed in duality, in Maya. What do you see? It's gonna go. Why are you placing your love in what's gonna go? Place your love in what's permanent. God, Ad Ant Prabh Sada Sahai, Tan Hamara Meet. Make that your mitter, make that your friend that will stay true from the very beginning and the very end. Maharaj says, Nanak asak kandiye, sadi re samaye. Guru Angad Dev Ji, as using the title of Nanak, says, Guru Angad Dev Ji says, recognize true love. Recognize true love when it forever remains absorbed with one. You're not splitting it up. You're taking all that love and devoting it towards one. Ik Oankar. Khalsa ji, devoting it towards one. Let's ask a couple of other questions. Some questions were asked when a company of Gursikhs would present before Guru Maharaj ji. This is taken from Gur Asht Chamatkar, written by Bhai Veer Singh, who knows his history, believe me. Who was it? It was Bhai Deepa. He had come with two other Gursikhs. And he says, Your Reverence, Your Almighty Guru Angad Dev Ji, how does one love which is not seen? I'm trying to address questions that maybe you haven't asked. Some maybe have asked, but it doesn't mean that you do not pay attention. Place your attention. If you want to walk on this path, some people ask these questions. How does one love which is not seen, is not visible? Guru Angad Dev Ji responded. At this time, he says to Bhai Deepa, Guru Angad Dev Ji, instead of the Supreme Being, in the place of the Supreme Being, there is love residing within your heart, but for whom? Companions, your wife, your child, your friends, and then on top of it, your possessions. Your possessions, material wealth. Those individuals and things are not here before your eyes. At present, Bhai Deepa stands before Guru Angad Dev Ji. Maharaj Ji says, they're not present right now before your eyes, yet their love is still existing within. A person carries around the love of companions wherever they go. It doesn't mean the companion comes with them. When they go to work, somebody asks them, do you love your wife? A person might say yes. But your wife is not necessarily with you at that time. You do and are able of carrying love with you. The next, the point of being seen. Carry the Lord's image within you, just as one who is blind can place an image within themselves of people and places and things. There's a blind person. Do you think they don't have images within their head? They have images. They have images. They'll bring it in using whatever senses are needed. If they don't have the eyesight sense, they use other senses. Guru Maharaj's Shabd is Maharaj's image. The Mool Mantra comes as Maharaj's image. And that image you can take with you. Well, the next point. As you begin to absorb more in the thought of Paramatma, through effort, obviously, meaning that love might not be there right in the beginning, but the more you dedicate yourself, it's like digging for water. Eventually that spring is going to come up. The more you detach from the love of the world, more you attach to Paramatma, the more you detach from the world. That's called Birag. Birag will start coming inside of you. I tell you, more love shall rise for your Creator, bringing love. Prabh ki Preet sada sukh hoye, Prabh ki Preet dukh lage na koy. That will start coming inside of you. Now, next question I want to ask, and ask to Guru Maharaj, why is it my love for God will not increase? Why am I still sitting here? ਕੀ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਗਾ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਵਾਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਖੜਾ Guru Maharaj Ji answers, Guru Arjan Dev Ji answers, Aneka dambar maya ke birthe tasyon preet katavo. Remember that the many displays of Maya, this world you see is Maya, the colors you see is Maya, the differences you see amongst people, that's Maya. And the many displays of Maya are useless. From these one should decrease their affection. If you want to rise, you want to increase with love, you have to decrease. You have to minimize those attractions that are polluting your mind. Khalsa Ji, let's ask Guru Amar Das Sache Pasha, how does the Lord give more love to some than others? Is that even true? We read in Jap Sahib, Jatra Tatra Disa Visa Hoy Phalyo Anurag, that God is love and He's everywhere. Then how is it some people get more love from Paramatma and blessings than some other people? What's their secret? Well, Guru Maharaj Ji says it's no secret. Ek nadar kar vekhe sab upar. Right now, as you sit, all in Maharaj's sanctuary, my beloved Gorsikhs, Guru Maharaj will say, listen, I look upon all with the same equal sight. It's right now, if you want an example, look at the sun. When the sun comes out, there's some people that'll have their back turned to the sun. How are you going to experience the sunlight? Some will say the sun doesn't exist because they don't have their face towards the sun. The moment that you turn your face towards the sun doesn't hesitate. It gives you its light. The moment that you turn your face to Guru Maharaj Ji, blessings will start showering. Khalsa Ji, that's another gal, that's another word, that's another thing if you don't recognize those blessings. If you want to recognize blessings, then read the Astpadi in Sukhmani Sahib, Jai Prasad. All of Jai Prasad that Guru Arjan Dev Ji lists out how many kirpa, how many blessings Guru Maharaj Ji is giving to you. Jai Prasad, Shatti hai amrit khahe, tis thakur ko rakhman mahe. All the blessings listed out in the stanzas of that Astpadi. So, whatever love they hold, whatever love you hold for Guru Maharaj Ji, that's the kind of fruit you receive. Now, another question comes up, and you ask Bhagat Kabir Ji, tell me what kind of love the God likes. If He favors people, if there's a certain type of love, and you want to receive blessings, you want to meet God, God is your goal, then what kind of love that God favors? What is that love? Then Bhagat Kabir Ji responds, Kau Kabir Bhagat kar paya, Pole pae mile Raghuraya. Well, Bhagat Kabir Ji says, take the example of Bhagat Tanna Ji. Bhagat Tanna Ji was an innocent child that looked at a patthar, started in worship. He didn't bring God out of the patthar. He brought God out of his love. Khalsa Ji, through innocent love, the Lord is met. And I read in a book that I want to quote, everything we've learned about love as adults should be unlearned. Love that is selfish, conditional, and demanding cannot be turned into love for God. Remember, I'm going to say that one more time. Love that is selfish, conditional, and demanding cannot be turned into the love for God. It must be transcended. It must be moved. You have to move past that into the love that is innocent, natural, and pure, such as the love of a child for his parents. Look to a child to learn. Jaise Preet barik armata, aisa har seti man rata. That's how Bhagat Namdev Ji says, I immerse in love. In the same way a child and a mother share their love, that's how I love Paramatma, with the same intensity, with the same innocence. Khalsa Ji, this is a formula. I want you to take this home with you. I beg that you take this home with you. Because there's been so many days and so many times that I regretfully have not taken what Guru Maharaj Ji has said. When Maharaj Ji speaks, take that with you. Moving forward, I want to share a Sakhi with you. But looking at the time, I'm going to skip this Sakhi and share another Sakhi with you. Maybe in future classes, we can share the Sakhi of Bibi Rang Kaur. It's a beautiful Sakhi. I'll share it in a future class with you because there's another Sakhi that I want to end with. And it starts with this. When Guru Har Gobind Sahib Sache Pasha was doing prachar in Punjab, he had come to Gondwal Sahib, a place marked for its sacredness, Khasatan Sri Guru Amardas Sache Pasha. Kyunki Guru Sahib did Gurdwara Yatra as well, in the same way Gursikhs do. They visit Guristans. That's why certain Gurdwaras you'll hear, it's Pachai Duji, Pachai Tiji. You'll hear different Guru Sahibs that have come to the same place. Well, Khalsa Ji, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Sache Pasha had been doing prachar, and then all of a sudden he turns to Bhai Bidhi Chand and he says, Bhai Bidhi Chanda, let's go north. Let's go to Jammu and Kashmir, the state of Jammu and Kashmir of present. Let's go there. Bhai Bidhi Chand didn't question, because Maharaj Ji de avde ranga. Koi khich pendi si. That all of a sudden that today Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji wants to go to Jammu Kashmir. on the opposite end, and Jammu Kashmir, near the city of Srinagar, there is a woman that is now blind. But if you rewind the clock a little bit to look at her story, it starts by hearing the Sakhis of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. This woman welled up with love by listening to the Sakhis and doing worship, by worshipping Paramatma, singing out God's praises. Khalsa Ji, her name is Bhagpari. She has a child. Her husband's left this world. And she turns to this child, raises him. But now what does she do? As her eyesight is dwindling, and she's seeing that her prayers have not been met yet. She's been calling out to the Lord that she has never seen, only heard, that please bless me with your sight. Please bless me with your vision. She calls out in prayer over and over again, Guru Sache Pasha, is Namani Sevak nu ek bari darshan de deo. She calls out over and over again, but Sajda Marga, and this is Bhakti, her pukar, time has gone by, years have gone by, and as her eyesight is dwindling, she goes and gets cotton and decides to make a chola for Guru Maharaji. Because her Vishwas, her faith tells her, God will come. God will come. He answers prayers. I've been told. He will come. He will answer my prayers. She was not able to go to Guru Maharaji. She called Guru Maharaji to herself. And now, she starts making a chola. She says, well, if God comes, I have to be prepared. So every morning, as prayers are on her lips, she washes the road to their home. Cleans it. Pocha maar diya. She cleans the road towards her home. If Guru Maharaji comes, I don't want dirt to get on Maharaji's charan or jode. She cleans the road. Every morning now, from this day forth. And now, during the day, singing Guru Maharaji's praises, she makes a chola out of a chola, khadrada chola. She prepares it. And then she thinks that I don't know what's going to fit Guru Maharaji. So she makes it extra large. Extra large. Khalsa Ji, she makes it so big that it can fit a 7 feet tall person. And as she's prepared this, she cries. Every morning she cleans the road, holds this chola. Mand pagi tero darshan na hai. Mere mande paag hai sache paasha, tode darshan nahi hunde. Deo darshan. A pukar hondi hai, a prem coming out. This prem is not to show off. This prem is not to tell everybody, look at me. This prem is an intimate relationship with the Lord. She calls out, cries, wipes her tears, and then her eyes refresh those tears every time. And there's a pool lying every morning after Amrit Vela. Guru Maharaji today has decided to visit this woman. This woman doesn't know, because over the years now, she's blind. She has no eyesight left. So Khalsa Ji, she holds that cloth, that chola in her hand, and her son says to his mother, why do you keep calling out, expecting Guru Maharaji to come and see you? Why would he want to come and see you? You know, they're making fun of me within the town. They're saying that your mom has gone insane. Don't do this anymore. The mornings you start calling out to the Lord, it wakes people up. Don't do that. She says, no, God will come. He says that, then fine, keep calling to your God. He has no faith. Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji is on his way. And everybody's following until one point, Guru Maharaji has taken his horse and the Sangat is left behind. And who comes and who sees is the son of that woman. He sees Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji come. He sees the aura around Guru Maharaj Ji's head. He sees divine light, so radiant, he cannot tolerate it himself. And when this light shines, he knows that this is the Lord's embodiment that has come. My mother's desires have been fulfilled. He runs inside. Ma, Ma, Kartar aage. The Lord has come. She doesn't know what to do. How would you? It's so unexpected. She's overwhelmed. She doesn't know. She looks and she can't see anything. How is she going to rest her eyes on Guru Maharaj Ji? But she reaches and feels for that Khadr da chola that has been her connection, that's soaked with God's love. Remember, Govind, Pao Bhagata Pukha. If God hungers anything, it's love, because He only speaks love. Pakhya, Pakhya means Pasha. Pasha means language. What's God's language? Pakhya, Pao, Apar. Satnam Sri Vaheguru Sahib Ji. Khalsa Ji, Guru Maharaj Ji standing before this Mai. She's feeling and felt the touch of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. Trembling hands, trembling body, she falls on Guru Maharaj Ji's feet. Maharaj Ji lifts her up. Preman, Bhagtan, what is your desire? You called me, I'm here. She says, Sache Pasha, I have nothing else that I want. Here, take this chola, please place it upon your pavitra tan. And Maharaj Ji took that chola. She made it extra large, but it fits perfectly on our Gurudev. It fits perfectly on our 7-foot Vad Jodha Bahu Parupakari Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. Maharaj Ji is towering 7 feet tall. And Khalsa Ji at this time, she starts crying. Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji says to her, Preman, why are you crying? She says, Sache Patsha, I wish I could see how this chola looks upon you, but I'm blind. Maharaj Ji says to her, then prepare your eyes, because at that time, what she felt was something that would penetrate through her body, through her eyes. Maharaj Ji took a teer, stuck it into the ground, water springed up. He took that amrit and then he placed it on the eyes of that woman and he said, Bolo Satnam Sri Vaheguru Sahib Ji. Blurry vision comes. Her eyes still unfocused, but now focusing on a towering image. And she sees Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji and she falls to Maharaj Ji's feet and says, Satnam Vaheguru, 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 Sache Pasha, Sache Pasha, Tusi Tan ho, Tusi Tan ho. Maharaj Ji says, ask for something else. She says, I've seen everything I needed in this life. Maharaj Ji, let me leave this life. Let me leave this life. Maharaj Ji say then, fine, your wish is granted. I take you within my gold. I take you into my lap as the formless Nirankar. Khalsa Ji, at that time, that Preman at the feet of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, she passed away. The Gurdwara Sahib still exists today in Jammu Kashmir. One side, on the left-hand side, you'll see a memorial for this woman, because Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji performed the funeral pyre for this woman himself. Guru Maharaj Ji performed it himself for this Buddhari Mai. And then on the other side, you see the location. On the right-hand side, you see the location where that water had come up and is still coming up to this day. That Maharaj Ji took that water and sprinkled it on that Buddhari Mai's eyes in the same way we do at an Amrit Sanchar. So forgive me if I made any mistakes. Please don't hold those mistakes against me. Please take whatever Guru Maharaj's Updesh that has been given, that is correct according to Gurmat, and please take it home with you. And Sarne Parna, this is a Mangalacharan. If for a moment, let's say for 2 minutes you paid attention, the rest you didn't understand what was going on. For those 2 minutes to become worthwhile, I want you to read this Shabd with me as well. This is a Mangalacharan to give you blessings for coming to this Darbar that leaves with you, stays with you when you leave this Darbar. Malar Mala Panjwa, He Gobind, He Gopal, He Dayal Lal Rahao, Prananath, Anath Sakhe, Deen Dard Nvar, He Samrath, Agam Puran, Moe Maya Tar, Andhkup Ma Pyan, Nanak Pare Utar. Salok Aye Prabh Saranagati, Kirpa Nid, Ek Akhrar Man Bast, Nanak Hot Nihal. Vaheguru Naam Jahaj Hai, Chare Sutare Par. Jo sarda kar sev de, gur par utarnar. Jo sarda kar sev de, gur par utarnar.